Hello guys, welcome to Daddy and the Don. As it's Euro 2024 is just about to get underway, myself and the Don will briefly go through our predictions and things to watch out for in the upcoming tournament. As always, we do try to bring you expert opinion, but we could not find any experts, so it's just going to be myself and the Don today. So first of all, Donny boy, how are you?
Well, you do have an expert, you have me. But yes, I'm all good. Good to be here, ready for the Euros. Let's get cracking.
Yeah, self-proclaimed ones don't count, I might add,
Yeah,
but we do have one.
It's not self-proclaimed.
What we're going to do, we're going to go through each group. We obviously did have a chat prior to making this video and just compromised on a couple. So we're going to do group by group, and there's a couple of disagreements. We will go through them as we get further into the video, but without further ado, let's get straight to it. We've got a couple of comments. So Laura Waller, have a good show. Thank you, Laura. And Gary Richards, tally ho. Hello, Gary. The Don football expert. The Don cricket expert, the Don golf expert, the Don darts expert.
American football expert.
I'm telling Macca.
I know.
Right, so Euro 2024, that's what we're here for. So we're going to have a look at Group A. So say going across the bottom, we've got the four teams in the group: Germany, Switzerland, Scotland and Hungary. So we did disagree on this one to start off with. We have compromised. So Germany, Switzerland, Scotland and Hungary is what we've decided on for this group, but we did kick out Scotland to say they're going to have no chance of going through in third place. So we're just basically saying this group is Germany and everyone else, essentially. So
who is saying second? I think Hungary is second.
Well, this was my
one.
So we chose Switzerland, but just so people know, we did disagree. But regardless of who we picked, the second round, these teams were going out anyway in the second round. So it's not like we've affected the final or anything like that. So we put Germany first, Switzerland second, Scotland third, Hungary fourth. But between the pair of us, it could have been flipped. So it could have been Hungary in second, Switzerland third, Scotland last. Even regretting
Scotland. Disrespect to Hungary is mad. I think disrespect to Hungary is mad.
I think they rely on one man a little bit too much. Scotland, they haven't even got one man to rely on, so they have to shitty these takes. I think it's going to be a very low scoring third and fourth place. I can see them having like 2 points, 1 point. There's going to be maybe a fair few draws in here. Germany, it should be a cakewalk. I don't know if you agree with me on that one. I think at home, not the best Germany team, but it's a very comfortable group for a home team in a major competition.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they qualify pretty easy.
Yeah, so Germany, can you see anyone in that group, say Switzerland, Scotland, Hungary, if they were to qualify, causing any damage in the second round at all?
Yeah, Hungary could upset whoever they face in the second round. I think they're a good side. So I'm not saying they will, but I wouldn't be surprised if they made a run to the quarterfinals. Switzerland side's too old for my liking. If it was me doing the group on my own, I think they would probably qualify as third, but I don't think they will qualify as second. But no, too old for me. Their team's aging, and Scotland are just shit.
Yeah, the thing with Scotland now, they've I don't know, they started so well in qualification, and I think they still think they're that team. So the team that beat Spain very early in the Euro qualifiers, yeah, it was good, but Scott McTominay can only bang in goals. He was doing it for Man United as well, but he can only do it for so long before you think, let's just mark him out of the game, and then they've got pretty much nothing.
Basically, with Scotland, the only thing I'll say in Scotland is get that plane engine, keep it running.
There's going to be a flying visit.
Flying visit for Scotland. I don't expect them to go through. Like I said, Germany win this group. We'll go with your one. I'm not saying that's out of range. Don't be surprised if Switzerland finish second. You know, I counted them out, but that doesn't mean they're not a good side. And Hungary, I know you put a fourth, but I think they'll surprise a few people. But one thing we can agree on is Scotland will not qualify.
Yeah, I think it's more with Switzerland. They seem to have the same team every year. They always seem to just scrape through, and they always seem to be like a knockout team. So whether it's second, whether it's third, they're probably going to go through. But we'll move on to Group B now. I think this one was slightly more straightforward. I think most people, we have got it in the order we've predicted it at the bottom there for the guys watching. So it's Spain, Italy, Croatia, and Albania in that order. A few people were saying Albania might be a dark horse for this because I think they had a new guy in and he lost his first game and then he was unbeaten for the rest of qualification. But I just think that's a very tough group. If you are going to be a dark horse, you've got to come through all of those teams and then you've got to go through several good teams to get anywhere in the knockout stage. I think that is just a bit too much for them.
Yeah, it's you know, you look at this group and then you look at Group E, and you think, what the fuck's going on there? Group E is a dog shite group, and then you've got three teams who can all be a top seed in the group. And I think for Albania's sake, they're just unlucky. I think if they had an easier group, they could have easily qualified second. They're a decent side. Are they a great side? No, but they're going to cause all these teams problems. Are they going to win any games? I'm not so sure. But yeah, that's my pick on Albania. Regarding the winner of this group, well, any of these teams group, I don't think any of these teams are going to go particularly far, in my opinion. I can't see a winner in this group, but I can see it still being a good group with some tight matches. Spain, for me, are the best of the three top teams, and because I think Italy are inconsistent. Croatia are very similar to Switzerland; they're aging, and Spain might not be Spain's best team, probably their worst team in a long time, but it will be good enough to get out of this group. We'll see how far they go after that, though.
I think it might just be Italy that decide it, though, because if Italy turn up and they're like a bag of tits, it's going to be Croatia that will come second.
Yeah,
because I don't think Croatia can influence the group. They're just going to turn up and be the same as they always are.
But Croatia always get quite far in tournaments, though, don't they?
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the exact same team they've had for about 10 years, though, isn't it? It's got to get to a point where they can't keep doing it.
Yeah.
But if they play us, they probably will keep doing it. But anyway, so we're quite comfortable locking that in. So Spain, Italy more likely second, and Croatia, we've put them third, but we are expecting them to qualify with that third place finish, yeah?
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so we move down now to Group C, the one that everyone's interested in. So again, for people watching, this is in order. So we're going for England, Denmark, Serbia and Slovenia, and we have earmarked Serbia for a third place qualification spot as well. Do you think that's just because you see everyone actually beating Slovenia here, so they're at least getting a decent amount of points with that third place finish, or do you think Serbia can do us and Denmark any trouble as well?
No, I think England win 3 games, Denmark win 2 games, Serbia win 1 game, and that'll be enough to get third place. Slovenia, no, they're not really that good. I think they got the life at striker, but to be fair, I'm not too familiar with their players. They're not a team that I expect to do anything. Serbia have got 2 really good strikers. They've got a really good centre midfielder. They will cause Denmark problems, and they will cause maybe us a problem. But I expect both us and Denmark games, and it'll just come to us first, Denmark. I don't care what people say about the friendlies. England will perform in this tournament to the point to get to the knockouts, and they will win this group for me with ease, winning all 3 games. Denmark, a lot of people's dark horses. Yeah, I can see that. They're a good side. They're a solid side. Are they a winning team in the sense of winning this tournament? No. Are they a side that can potentially get to quarterfinals? Of course they can. But for me, England win this group with ease. Denmark second. Serbia get third place with 3 points. And Slovenia, unfortunately, come bottom with 3 defeats.
Do you think Rasmus Højlund's going to actually look like a striker in this tournament? Because he seems to play better in that Denmark team than he does with his club team historically.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see how he gets on, to be fair. I have not seen much of him for Denmark, but he looks like he definitely plays more as a number 9 instead of like a sort of like, I'm not saying he plays as a winger, but he seems to play as like a number 10 sometimes, even when he's in that number 9 position. So I think that's always just based on tactics of the manager. He's probably asked to do a different job for Denmark, so he probably prefers it, and it suits his style of play. So look, Denmark got some good players. They you know, a lot of players from the Premier League. You know, midfielders from Brentford. They got players from Leicester, a few fullbacks. So yeah, it's a solid side. Again, I reiterate what I said earlier. It's not a good enough side to win this, but I'll be shocked if they didn't qualify second with 2 wins. To be fair, I think Serbia more just or less a team with 3 or 4 good players, but the rest of the squad's a bit, you know, average. Good enough to beat Slovenia.
I think a few of those Serbian players went to I think some went to Saudi, didn't they? And then like Vlahovic hasn't been playing regularly with Juve, is he? I know he's scored a few goals. He's been in and out of the team as well, so be interesting.
Milinkovic Savic is probably for me their best player. He's probably their best player, and he plays in Saudi. And then probably their second best player plays in Saudi, and their third best player doesn't seem to be in favour in Juventus, so he does score goals. So yeah, it's a solid side. Listen, I say what I said about Croatia. I think if you put them in group maybe F or group E or even group probably A for that matter, they'll probably finish potentially second. Unfortunately, they're just in the group where you got two really strong teams in front of them. And can I see them beating either of them? No, I can't. That's it, really.
So we'll lock that in. Then England, Denmark, Serbia, Slovenia. Currently no draws, predicting a third place finish for Serbia to be enough to qualify.
Yeah.
So Group D. So this one does scream out group of death. So you've got France, the Netherlands, Austria, and Poland. First off, Lewandowski is probably going to miss the first game. I'm not sure how serious his injury is, but I think if he doesn't play this tournament, that's pretty much Poland and any sort of chance of qualifying over, you'd say, wouldn't you? Probably accountable for half of their goals.
Yeah, I think Poland go 3-3 here. I think Austria and Netherlands both get a win in a draw. They draw with each other and beat Poland. And I expect France to win out. Poland are relying on one player that he's 35 years old, missing the first game, as you said. They need him available at all times to have any chance. Austria, a side that don't have any Premier League players, but they have some good little players that play in the German league. Arnautovic, I believe, is in the squad still. So, listen, they're a solid side and they will cause teams problems. Netherlands, for me, they're a striker away and they're missing, probably, for me, one of their best players in De Jong. They're not good enough to beat France and they're probably not good enough to win every game. But they are a strong enough side to probably qualify in this group of seconds. But again, I see them drawn with Austria maybe in a little thriller 2-2. You know, it's easy for us to say all the better teams will win every game and lose to a better team. But you've got to encounter that some of these teams, especially like Austria, you know, they're no pushovers. And when it comes to France, I don't think it's the best France team ever. I think they rely on Mbappe. I think their second best player is William Saliba, who apparently is going to be on the bench, which is just, he's the best centre back in the world. Grow up, the champs. Stop trying to prove a point. Play your best centre back. Upamecano got dropped for Dyer. And then Griezmann, for me, I'm not, and I don't want to get clipped on this. I always think Griezmann's slightly overrated. I'm not saying he isn't a good player, but for me, I always think to myself, like, is he actually as good as what people make out to me? Yeah, he's a very good player and he's very reliable. And then, I don't know who they're going to play in the middle. Are they going to play Camavinga, who, again, another player for me that doesn't do enough to be valued of what people value at him? With that being said, I think he's got amazing potential. And do they play Tchouaméni or Kante? For me, you play Tchouaméni. So, yes, they've got good players, but this team is definitely beatable. But for me, you say group of death, I don't think so. I think France win this one with these. I think the other three teams are all really good, with Netherlands being probably more to France's level. But, yeah, France, this will be an easy group for them.
Do you think French people watching what you've just said will turn around and say, well, we've got Real Madrid, AC Milan, players in our team. You've got 4 Crystal Palace players in your squad. So it's sort of like we're looking at it on our point of view. We're saying these players are no good, yeah? Do you think they'll look at our squad and say, well, they're better than these players?
Okay, but that we could have easily had a centre back for AC Milan play and start, but that's the manager's decision.
Yeah.
And apart from Gailey, who is only playing because Maguire's not fit, the other 3 are not going to start. So if you look at England's starting lineup, it's going to be Man City, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, Everton. So yeah, 3 or 4 teams, but Man City and Arsenal and
it almost makes
Liverpool.
it like they've got Mbappe and no one. Where like a France person would probably turn around and say you've been a bit.
I'm not saying that. I just think they rely a lot on him. Dembele is basically a wheelchair. Koumani, the one for PSG, is a good player. I don't even know if Furman's in the squad, but he's a good player. He's a start. Is this a team that's been quality? The team was better. Giroud was old. They've had better teams. I'm not saying this isn't a good team, and it's still one of the best teams in the tournament, and still one of the teams that probably could win it in my mind. I think there's 3 teams that can win it, and they're one of them. But I don't think it's out of range to say this team is slightly aging in positions. Griezmann's one of them. Kante's another. And if you're not going to play, for me, your second best player, then you're going to be weak. Konate didn't keep a clean sheet barely kept a clean sheet last year for Liverpool. Hernandez got absolutely ruined by Saka last year in the World Cup. So what says that doesn't happen again if we face, or what says it doesn't happen if you give him a spacey little right winger? So there's opportunities to get at this French team. I just think this is the perfect group for them to get comfy, and this will be the key. If they have this easy group, I'm not saying this is easy, but for me, everyone's saying group of death, right? They'll win this group easily. They'll win it 3-1.
It's not about France though. It's about Netherlands. So I see Netherlands could lose to the pair of those if they don't turn up. They've done it in previous. So
Agreed.
It's in terms of like France, I think will win comfortably, and then the other 3. If they said to me I was going to be Austria, Poland, and Netherlands come last, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Although I am predicting them to come second.
Well, the odds say that, don't they?
You've done the favourite thing ever, haven't you? Portugal versus England in the final. So I think that's like we're going to talk about odds. Anyway, we've got some comments.
Hang on. France and England are joint favourites, so we both done the same, and we both done it. Check it. And Portugal is 4th favourites. So actually.
Portugal versus France is England is the most likely final.
Go. No, the odds.
What about this?
The odds.
You're looking at odds. I'm not looking at odds. I'm looking at who's going to win, right? Yeah, look at that comment and just answer it or whatever you're going to do because I'm not reading that.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know if it means you're meant for something better. So, Gary Richards, not interested in this. Is that what he said? One isn't impressed with this journey. Impressed. Yeah. So I think it's just easy group, home team. There's got a lot going for them, so they'll probably get to at least the quarterfinals. And then are an unknown. Yeah, which we both
agreed. I think they're just unlucky with the group, to be fair, Gary.
Yeah. What have we got next? Group E. So again, when I look at this one, I just think there's like 3 teams in there that could just do anything, and then you just got Belgium, who probably aren't as good as they've been in the past. They're quite old again, but they've just been handed a pretty decent chance to get out of a group without being tested.
I think Belgium win out, and I think I would not be surprised if all the other games are draws. I really am not. And it'd be a case of goal difference. Who loses to who plays the best against Belgium?
I think
it's pony. It's really pony.
Yeah, I think we had this the opposite way around. I think I had Romania, Ukraine, Slovakia, but I'm not expecting it to be points, maybe even wins for the others. I was thinking it'd be 9 points, 2 points. 2 points, 1 point, something like that. It's going to be really low scoring for the 3 games.
The 3 games that they play, whatever many games they play each other, they'll be surprised if them.
Could all be draws.
This is the worst group by a mile. Belgium was celebrating when they got this group, and I know you said they're Asian, but they actually do have a bit of youth coming in now as well. Yes, there's still a lot of players that are getting on, but this is still a good side. Let's not make no doubt about it. And this side is definitely going to get through this group. And they'll definitely get to the quarterfinals. I do not expect Ukraine to get past the second stage, and obviously Slovakia and Romania won't qualify past this. It's a dream group. Ukraine have a couple of good players, but incredibly average team. Slovakia, they've got some good players, but they are an incredibly average team. And Romania, for me, people will probably say Georgia, Albania, but I think Romania is probably the worst team in this tournament, personally.
I just think this is the best group either of these 3 could have been given, as well as.
For them. Yeah. They all fancy them chances, and fair play to them, but do not be surprised if this is a draw fest apart from Belgium.
Because you look at, say, like, I don't know, Slovakia versus Romania, whoever wins that game could potentially come second if there's a load of draws. And
agreed. Yeah, and it could just play one goal in it.
Yeah. I think if you're one of those 3 teams, you take this. You got 1 win and you're in, and you're further than anyone expected. Do you agree with this 3rd place finish, or do you think it makes it a bit more sort of boring in the group stage, because I remember when there was just 2 from each group, it made these sort of, when you're not sure who the other places are, no one could really. Portugal won it previously. Was it 2016 maybe?
And they drew all 3 games.
They drew all 3 games in the thing, and they'd never qualified on that. And then they went on to, I think,
They
extra
only won
time and penalties. I think they only won 1 game, didn't they, in 90 minutes?
against Wales.
Yeah, which is basically a walkover.
Yeah.
So,
but they didn't lose the game, did they? So
no, but I think it just makes it a bit like there's no shocks anymore, because even if there is a shock, that team's going to go through in 3rd place anyway.
it's good for the teams, but if you're going to do that, just make it 32 teams. You could make 32 teams.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and they're moaning about fixtures. They could just go just to the nations, not have as many qualifiers.
The top 20 teams in the world a year out qualify automatically, and then just put the rest in qualifying. You want the best teams there, don't you? You know what I mean? So get the top 20 in and give 12 teams a chance.
Yeah. So this one we're calling it Belgium, and then it's just a lottery for 2nd, and the other 2 are going home, basically.
It's just pony fest, yeah.
So we go. Oh, here we go. Here's Mark Hill.
Exactly, the Rugby. Yeah, and he don't even. Well, he played this year because of Pope's injury, but yeah, that's all you need to know.
Well, I think he'd be getting a lot of action anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Group F. So we've got Portugal, Turkey, Czech Republic, Georgia. Again, I know Portugal, if you look at them man for man, are probably they'd fancy themselves against any team man for man.
Yeah.
But again, they're not going to have to do a great deal to get out of this group either, which is always good if you're a powerhouse and you don't really have to go through the gears early. So again, I can just see them. It's going to be a 9 or 7 points for me.
Yeah.
And again, like Turkey, Czech Republic, Georgia, this is one like Turkey were a lot of people's dark horses at the World Cup, I believe, and they stank the place out. And a few people have mentioned them again this time. I think they might qualify, but they're going to end up playing, I think, the winner of France's group if they come 2nd, which is basically, yeah, you can get out of the group, but then it's, again, what it's just an appearance fee, isn't it?
Yeah, Portugal for me, that Turkey and Czech Republic, because we'll reduce Georgia for a sec. Turkey and Czech Republic, for me, are very similar to Poland. They're a good side. They both have been very lucky to be in this group because they both fancy their chances. They're good sides. They're not bad sides. I'm not saying they are, but if they were in other groups like Group D, or Group B, they would probably be the 4th best team in that group. You know, so Turkey for me, you know, they're very similar to how they approached the World Cup and stank the place out. So what says it doesn't happen again? Georgia, unknown. They've got really good players on the left wing, but they don't concede many goals. They don't score many goals. The one thing's for sure is Portugal's going to win this group, and they're probably going to win out 3 wins. Where I said in the last group they will draw, don't be surprised if the other teams all beat each other. If they all win 1, lose 2, you see what I mean? Where they all win 1, Georgia beat Czech Republic, Derby beaten. Yeah, don't be surprised if that happens there. But out of the 3, who do I think is the best team? I'd say Turkey. I can't really justify any of the other 2 because on paper Turkey are a better side. Yeah, we know Czech Republic got a few decent players from West Ham, and they got Schick up front. But he hasn't been the same since the last Euro. So, yeah, listen, I'm not discounting any of these teams. I think this is a lottery in a different sense to Group E, where I think actually they're all decent size. Georgia's the unknown. People are going to say, well, Georgia are going to finish last. That's because you don't know about them. They're actually solid and they're quite tidy, but they're boring. So it's not the best to watch, but they could beat either one of the other 2 teams. But yeah, if I had to pick one, Turkey, best team on paper. Don't be surprised if they win both games, but I think it could be a case of maybe they all beat each other and the one with the best goal difference goes through with Portugal, who on paper have got some quality players. You know, they've got Bernardo Silva, Fernandes, Ronaldo, Leal, Neves, Pilinha, Neto. All these players available for this team. It gives them strength. Diaz. So they're going to be one of the favourites for the whole tournament, let alone this group. So they'll sail through. Yeah, for me, even though it's not the best quality group, it's a good group to watch as long as there's goals. You see what I mean?
I think Georgia struggle if it goes that way because I think they'll score the least goals.
Yeah. I don't think Georgia qualify.
Yeah.
They're not going to be. I don't want to plug saying, but we do a year prediction, and I did it too long ago. I did it 2 months ago, and I regret my decision now. But a lot of people have just put 5-0 Portugal. Everyone, like George is losing every game 4-5-0. I think people need to educate themselves. They're a good side. They're better than that. They probably might lose all 3 games, but they're not going to be losing 4-5-0. Don't be surprised if they can hold a team to a 0-0 or even win a game 1-0. So respect is earned there. But yeah, do they qualify? I just fall short. Not enough goals.
So we, rather than go through it live on air, I've sort of done the last 16. It's a bit long. It's going to be across the bottom there, but we'll just briefly go through the game. So I sent these over to you last night. We did disagree, not massively. You just wanted to see at least 2. You said there was 2 there that you felt could go out, and you wanted to see at least 1 upset. So you were targeting the Italy game, which was against Switzerland, and the Spain game, which was against the Czech Republic. I think given those 2 games, I decided to take Switzerland to beat Italy as more likely to happen. So I think if Spain do get the Czech Republic, I think they'll get past that game, and that would be sort of like a favourable opponent for them. So what we sort of agreed on was that Spain would get past the Czech Republic. Do you see that being a hard game, or do you think that's just they've lucked out in who they've got in the second round?
I think Spain would struggle to get the quarters, but if it ends up like that, then I think they will go through. Because we just spoke about Czech Republic. I don't think they're good enough to beat a big team. So I think Spain get through on that one for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then the next game, so the winners would play the winner of Germany and Denmark. So we spoke about Denmark being dark horses, but I think we were both agreed that Germany will come through this one.
Yeah, just about. Don't be surprised if it was an upset, but if I had to put my money where my mouth is, Germany win this one. As long as, if they're really, the thing is, this could change with tournaments. It all depends. If they win 3 games, then yeah, it's every day of the week. But you just never know with Germany at the moment. They have become a quite inconsistent side. But on paper, they've got a lot of good young players as well as some experienced players. They will be just too much for Denmark, who will probably look at this and go, "We're unlucky here. There's some other legs that, you look at Ukraine, the Netherlands, Denmark would be like, oh, I wish we were on that side, but you fancy even one of them." But yeah, they're facing the home nation, so Germany will have a bit too much of Denmark on this occasion.
I think Denmark would have fancied Spain if they'd got that.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, agreed.
Proper chance. And then that's Portugal against Croatia. Could be a good game. I think if they played in the major tournament later stages, potentially, I can't remember, but could be a good game. But again, I just think Portugal got too much firepower to be upset at that stage.
I think Portugal are going to go quite far. I know these played in friendly the other day. I don't take any really notice of that. Croatia's a bit too old. I think they'll scrape through and they'll make a game of it. Don't be surprised if this goes extra time and penalties. But I do expect Portugal to go through this one.
I think I know we all take the piss out of the Saudi League as well, but Ronaldo's still firing them in. I think what's he got, like 200 games, 120 something goals now? Is it something ridiculous like that?
Oh, yeah. But a lot of them are against shit teams.
Yeah, but again, there's going to be some in this group, isn't there? So it's probably going to add to his total here as well.
Yeah.
Then last one. So look at this for a game: Netherlands versus Ukraine. You think again, Netherlands could shit their way to that second place and then get rewarded with Ukraine in the second round. It's madness.
Yeah, they win this one 2-3, 4-0. Ukraine are not a good side, and Netherlands, if they get through to this stage, they'll have a bit of confidence. They're a good side, Netherlands. Just missing a striker. Let's not make anything about it. They've probably got the best defence in it. If you look at their centre back options, Van Dijk, De Gea, Van der Veen, Ake, Botman was injured, so that's 5 class centre back. I know you hate Ake, but Ake's still a good player. That's 5 good players. But that's 5 good players. So defensively, great team. They're missing their best centre mid. Their other really good centre mid who plays for Atlanta, I can't pronounce his name, Copperminas or whatever his name. He's injured as well. So you're missing 2 really good players. But they were good enough to get through the group, and they're good enough to beat Ukraine.
Yeah, who did he play for, that Coopermans? I'm sure I saw him.
Atlanta.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, I see it on the telly the other day, and
he's been linked with a lot of Prem sides. I think Liverpool, Man United, they've all been linked with him the last couple of seasons. Good player.
So that's that side of the draw, and we've got the other side, which I think probably the fixtures are a bit more weighted for the favourite. So Belgium versus Serbia. Again, I think that's a decent result for Belgium to land on that as a fixture. It might be a tough game, but I think they've got enough quality players to see that one out. You agree?
Yeah, Belgium will have enough to beat a difficult Serbian side, but it would probably be a Serbian side that have won only one game. So why can't Belgium beat them? Yes, it's a one-off game. It's cup football, but confidence will be flowing if Belgium go through with ease, and they will likely win this game, maybe 2-0.
I've got the same sort of feeling with the next two games. So it'd be France versus Turkey again. I think what you want of France. I think that's just a very comfortable game for them to have in the first knockout stage, and they're probably not going to have to do too much to get to the quarterfinals if it pans out like that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's an easy ride for France so far. They win this game with ease. Turkey, I've already mentioned them not long ago. Solid side, but can they beat a big team? I don't think so. France win this one. Very, very routine for them and Belgium at this rate.
And this bottom half of the draw, everyone's going to think we've purposely fixed this for England now, but it's not the case. We did try to do this properly. So England got Austria, which again I just think would be not a dream tie, but a good tie for us in that stage. Expecting us to come through the group stage quite comfortably, and then it'd be another game to just go in and blow them away in the first half, hopefully.
Well, Denmark are a better side than Austria, and we'll beat Denmark, so there's no reason why we shouldn't beat Austria. I haven't really brought it up, but it all depends on the noddy who's managing us. Just play attacking football. Just fucking play attacking football. Don't worry about playing 4 defensive mids. Just go smash them. You're good enough. We have the attack. We have a solid-ish defence. The defence is okay to deal with Austria. Don't worry. Just go bang them. And we will, if he has that mindset. Otherwise, we'll probably win 1-0 and just about get through. But we will get through. That's what matters. Austria will try. Don't underestimate them, but obviously we're gonna back us to get to at least the quarterfinal and beat a team who's gonna finish potentially third in the group.
I would prefer to go 1-0 down in the first 10 minutes in these games, because then he wouldn't be able to do those tactics. He'd have to just go out and get goals.
No, but he'll get 1-1 and then defend.
Yeah, because I think he's happy when it's 0-0 at half time. He's happy with that. Where I think we could be 2-0 up and we could be comfy and start thinking about resting players in the second half if we need to.
Just be 3-0 at half time. That's the easiest way.
Yeah. And then this is the one where we've picked the upset. So Switzerland v Italy. I think we don't know what Italy are about at the moment. We'll see through the group stage whether our opinion changes on this. But I think at the moment, that's where the most likely upset could come from this part of the draw. Maybe Switzerland could beat Italy in a low-scoring game, maybe extra time and penalties. But I think they've got technical players in the Swiss team, but it would just depend. If Italy stink the place out and play defensive football as well, there's always a chance of... Who did they upset in the last tournament? It was really low scoring, and then they scored out of nowhere. And I'm sure it was Switzerland caused an upset in the last major tournament. Was it the World Cup?
They upset France in the quarterfinals of the Euros.
Yeah, because it's just one of those where as long as it's a low scoring game, there's always a chance one Shaqiri or somebody just bangs something in from a long shot. I don't think Rodriguez doesn't play anymore, does he? I think is he retired now, or is he still knocking about?
What, the left back?
Yeah, I can't remember seeing him.
I'm not sure.
They've got Zaka. Got a few players that have been around
old
European leagues, but they are quite old players. So
and Billow's back, but he's not been fit.
Yeah, he hasn't been about for a while though, has he? He hasn't been relevant, I suppose. But yeah, so
the thing is with that, like, we'll go for this one. Obviously, I'm not just saying this. I think Hungary would beat Italy easily. I know I keep bumming them. Do I think Switzerland will beat Italy? Yeah, let's pick an upset. I'm not kind of coming out here saying picking on Italy, but if I look at, we said it already. If you look at the 8 games, I want to pick an upset. What's the most likely one out of them ones? Probably this one. So we're going to go with Switzerland.
Yeah, go to penalties, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. So let's not be favourite backers. Let's have a little bit of imagination. Because the thing is, if we just had all the best teams in the world, it's not that someone's going to go out. The thing is, we're saying this because that's what we feel, but we know it's not going to be this straightforward. Something's going to happen that we don't expect. So let's just predict Italy to lose to Switzerland in the second round.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure one of these group winners probably won't win the group. Someone will mess this up, and the whole prediction will be gone.
That's what the World Cup. The thing with Italy, this isn't a dig on Italy. They're a decent side. They've got some good players, but are they a top side? No, they're not. They're not the side they were, and they were a better side. The thing with Italy in the Euros, and this isn't sour grapes, they played well in the group stage, and they bundled their way through the rest of the tournament. And if it wasn't for some big-nosed prick, we would have banged them if we went and played football. They were lucky because our managers are clueless. If that was a manager who was sent, we would have got absolutely steamrolled them, 4-5-0. But we let them back in the game in the most shittest final ever, and they won it because we had a clueless manager. And that's not taking anything away from Italy. They won it, fair play. But they have not been convincing since then. They missed the World Cup. This team is just so unreliable. But this team shows up at tournaments most of the time. So we're saying they'll lose this. That means they'll probably get to the final.
Do us over.
Probably win it. Probably win it.
Right.
Yeah.
So quarterfinals look something like this now. So I think we pretty much agreed on all of these games as well, which was a first. So Spain, Germany, I think that's where end of the road for Spain, wasn't it? We agreed on this one. And again, you look at Germany, that's quite a good run to the semi-finals, having to beat Denmark and Spain. I think they would take that right now if you offered it to them.
Yeah, it's a really good looking game, and we can say what we want about both sides maybe not being as good as they were 5, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever it may be, but still two top sides, can go either way. But if you had to give me a team, Germany would probably win it because I think they are a better side with better attacking options. And I think, you know, they will take home advantage. They'll take, if they can get through to the semi-finals beating two very good teams, fair play to them. And I think they will scrape this one. This might go to penalties, but they will get through a good Spain side. But this is a Spain side who's got Pedri, who apparently is still world class, but he's done fuck all in 4 years. A player that I don't get why people keep saying he's good. He scored 2 goals. He played 58 games one year, scored 3 games. He's amazing because he was 18. All right, good. That means he's world class. If he did that for Brighton, you wouldn't be saying a single word. It's because he's doing it for Barcelona. This narrative that Barcelona, Brazilian, and Real Madrid players get overhyped. And he's one of these overhyped players. I just don't understand. I'm not saying he isn't good, but just explain to me why he's world class, because he plays for Barcelona and he scored, 8 goals in 4 years. Anyway, rant over.
I'm just going to put him down for top goal scorer now then, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like when people go, the league is better than the league is better football than Premier League. Would you rather watch Brighton Crystal Palace or Getafe versus one of their pony teams? I know what I would rather watch, because they say that because they base it on 2 teams, Barcelona and Real Madrid. Anyway, rant over. I just get annoyed with things like that. Like, it just annoys me because his narrative about English players being overhyped. But for me, it's Brazilian players, like, because the Brazilian player, the one who plays with them in Barcelona, is getting Young Player of the Year. Like Yamal, like, what's he done? I mean, Gavi got it 2 years ago. He played like 20 games. So it's just weird. It's just, and that's this Spanish side. And I know I've openly said about Iniesta and Xavi. They were great players. They were. But people rate them highly. Who forget people from Spain. They watch them all the time. And they have every right to rate them because they watch them. But someone like the guys on that podcast, they're all good people. Some of them are not. Who's tried to tell me who was good and all that. You're basing it on watching them maybe 4 times every 2 years. That's not.
Are you still bitter about this 3 years ago podcast?
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Let me finish. But you're basing it on like appearances of like, oh, yeah, he's really good. Yeah, but how many times do you watch him regularly? Watch what that is. Yeah, I watch players like Phil Foden do it in and out every week, and he might not do it in every final. And then, rant over. Let's just carry on. Germany beats Spain.
I'm just waiting for Hanif's entrance music to come on. He puts up and starts flagging us up again.
He does.
But anyway, end of the day, Germany going through, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. That was a long prediction. It was mostly about slagging off Pedro.
Right.
We haven't done this for a while.
Yeah, isn't it? Portugal, Netherlands. So has the potential to be a good game, but again, I know you're favouring them because of your long-term predictions, but again, favouring Portugal to get through this game. I'm going to say something like 2-0 would probably be the result here. But I don't know.
Agreed.
Yeah.
2-0 Portugal. Too strong for a decent Netherlands side. Reach their limit, get to the quarterfinals, but Portugal, one of the favourites in my eyes for a reason. Too much attacking talent. We've already said this, blah, blah, blah. Don't need to rant because this one's quite simple. 2-0 Portugal.
Do you think Netherlands should accept that they're a top 8 team and nothing more? Do you think they should accept that as a good tournament coming in the quarterfinals?
No, not for them. They should be winning it, and not because their team's good enough to win it, because they're the Netherlands.
No, but looking at what they've got, do you realistically think they can't be expecting to do more than quarterfinals with the team they've got?
No,
Yeah,
just not enough for me. Not enough.
Because I can see them going out here, and then there've been a lot of bad press saying, "Oh, it's not good enough," and you sort of think, "Well, what more did you actually want?"
Provide a striker. Get an out-and-out goal scorer.
So there we go. So that's Germany, Portugal, and that's how the draw. And then we've got Belgium, France. Again, this one I'm going with France, but I think this could have the potential to be a tricky game, depending how Belgium play in the tournament. They've always struggled when they get to this sort of stage to see tournaments through, haven't they? There was that time, was it Wales that put them out? That same tournament we were talking about, wasn't it? When Portugal won last time, and they should have they probably should have gone a lot further. There, they should have beaten Wales on that.
They probably should have won the tournament.
Yeah, but I think it's not the same team as back then. But I still just think, for as much as we can sort of like dig at France, I still just think they've got enough in the tank there just to get this one over the line. I would say probably 2-1, but it might be a bit more one-sided when we get to it.
This will be a tight game. I think both teams will get to this stage relatively unscratched with ease. And if you get to that point where there's doubts about you, but you sort of brush it aside and you've come on unscathed, you're going to have confidence. So yeah, because some people say, well, you have arrogance, which is not necessary, and you get hit on the jab. That makes sense. But I think Belgium will be a tough game for France. But France are a better side probably still, and they will get through this probably 2-1. I agree with you on that one, Phil.
Yeah, and then obviously we've got the last game. It's going to end up being England-Switzerland, which we're obviously going to go for England. There's no point analysing that. Just in case it was Italy to go through, would you be equally as confident that that's a very comfortable day's work for England?
I will say the same as what I said before. It's all based on that moron. But even if it's all based on that moron, we have enough to beat either Switzerland or Italy on this occasion. I would expect us to win. But again, he will make it hard work if he comes into this tournament like a twat he is. So yes, Switzerland will be beaten by England 2-1.
Okay, we've got some more comment action. So I'm not buying into the Portugal hype. Ronaldo is 39. Bruno is a crybaby. Just think overhyped. What about João Palhinha? Is your boy's in there, Hill? Come on, mate. You got to get behind your best player, haven't you?
It's not going to be there long now.
Yeah, I know. I can't say former player yet, can I? He's still a current player. A bit like Palace, we've got 4 England players, but only one of them is probably going to be there next year. But that's
the goalie.
Yeah. Semi-finals. So this brings us Germany versus Portugal and France versus England. So Germany v Portugal, we both agree on this one. Portugal to go through. My personal pick would be 2-1, and it could possibly be an extra time job. But I would say if I had to tip my neck on the line, I'd say 2-1 in 90 minutes to Portugal. What's your take on this one?
I think this is going to be a really good game. 2 really good teams, 2 teams fancied for different reasons. One being a home team with pedigree, the other team with a lot of talent and a lot of youth and good form and expectation of the nation. And they won it for 8 years ago. So good game. I think 2-1 extra time Portugal. But 2-1 tight game, 90 minutes. That's possible too. So yeah, I think we agree on this one. Germany are a good side, but are they final good or winning it good? No. So Portugal, better side, go through.
Yeah, and then the other one, so France versus England. Again, I know what your pick was. You were very adamant that England are coming through this. I'm a bit more pessimistic, mainly because of your mate Southgate. I want us to win, but I just really, when you just see something happen over and over again and you just can't get that narrative out of your head, I just think it's going to get to that point. Nothing's going to have gone wrong the whole tournament. And that when they say attack's your best form of defence, a bit like a fighter, if you're a knockout artist, why are you going to cover up, go for another knockout? I just feel like he's going to set up completely wrong. And like you said, there are weaknesses in that French team, and I think he won't take advantage of it. he'll make them sort of like come onto us, which would not suit our natural game, if that's making sense. I don't know if I know players like Roy Keane in the past have said that, and Souness and that they would overrule tactics when on the pitch, but I don't really see anyone in that team that's big enough to step up and overrule a manager now. I think it's quite a different world now, isn't it, with football and tactics?
I think I'll repeat what I said, it's all based on him. I'm going to go for England because I just got a feeling, but I'm not going to bet my life on it, and I'm not going to strongly disagree with you saying France, just because of what I saw before the friendly. I don't know, you just get a bad feeling. I'll say England because I think both teams coming to this with strengths. Who's a better team on paper? I think England are a better team on paper. It all depends on that idiot. Again, I've said it 3 times. I'll say it again. I think if he gets the tactics right, where he can, we win. But don't be surprised if it was a repeat of the World Cup quarterfinals. So I'll go for England 1-0.
The thing is, like, this could be a final in its own right, couldn't it?
Yeah, of course it could. And most people probably thought it would be.
I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the favourite with the bookies this to be the final, even though they're both
no, it's Germany, England.
Because I'm pretty sure I've seen this at like shorter prices than either team to play Portugal, which was a bit absurd.
No, it's 12-1. This is Germany, England's 10-1. That's the favourite.
Yeah, but the fact that this probably can't even happen, I'm just alarmed that it's so high up there in the markets.
Yeah.
So you basically, for this to be a final, you need one of them to mess up in the group stage.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. This will be a semi-final.
Yeah. So yeah, well, we go with that one. We need England to try and win something, but we'll just have one eye there just in case he messes it up again. So our final is going to be Portugal versus England, and we didn't talk about this because we spoke about it before. We did a video where I put France forward on one side, you put Portugal. So obviously we both went for our teams. But what would you say if this was the final? Honestly,
my heart says England, but my head says Portugal. Probably 2-1. So very, very sort of similar to the France game back in the World Cup. I think it'll be the same sort of game as it comes to this. I just see it being a very what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of not scrappy, but very cautious game. Both teams looking not to lose in the 90 minutes. Then I think Portugal will probably just nip us. I want to be wrong. Of course, I want to be wrong. And my opinion might change if we play better. Again, I'll say it all depends on him. But on this occasion, I think it'll be one step too far. I just got a feeling that Portugal will win it. So yeah, that's it really. Portugal win 2-1.
I think if this is the case, again, if I was right with France knocking us out or us getting knocked out even earlier, depending on what he does, if France end up in the final against Portugal, I would take France to win it 2-1 in 90 or extra time, not penalties. But if it was this one, I just think it would be 1-1 and Portugal would win on penalties. That's what I would stick with, because it's just we seem to have a thing with Portugal on penalties, so probably would come to bite us in the arse again. Yeah. There you go. Well done. There you go. Good news, everyone. We're gonna lose in the final again. Come on, England.
England.
That's Lewis Hamilton, isn't it? England.
England.
Right. We've got a little bit here, right? So we spoke about. We're not talking about third favourite teams for the Golden Boot or the tournament, and then claiming we've picked some amazing long shots. So ones to watch and dark horses. I'm going to guess now because of what you said. You're going to pick Hungary.
Yeah, no dark horse for me. I think they can get to the quarterfinals.
So I'm just going back. So if we're not going to win the tournament, are you cheering on Portugal for the win? Is that the team you'd like to see win if England can't win it? Or have you got someone else you'd prefer to win if you were going to look at it from a neutral point of view?
I would like Belgium to win it.
Just to close the chapter on that sort of golden era.
Yeah, I would like Belgium to win it. Who do I think is going to win it? We know that. Who do I obviously want to win it? England. It's as simple as, really. But yeah, Belgium, close the chapter, finally get that major tournament win. They're not that far off. People have discarded them because of what happened in the World Cup and what happened in before. They are good enough to get to the final. Let's not make no mistake about it. They're not that bad. They are a solid team, and having a group like that gives them confidence. So I'd like to see them do something. I think Portugal win. Of course, I want Arsenal. I want England to win it.
So is Belgium going to be a dark horse to win it, and Hungary a dark horse to go a bit further than people think? Is that what you're going to stick with?
Yeah, well, yeah, Belgium probably 7 or 8 favourites, so they're one of the top 8 teams at 24. So dark horse might be a stretch, but in the same time, because no one's picking them to win it, forget the bookies, it probably is the right label. So yeah, I'll say that. Yeah.
Because I can't really see anyone outside the top sort of like 5 or 6 fancy teams winning it. I think that's quite fair. It's gonna take something for like a Greece to happen all over again. I think it is from that sort of like.
I think England, Portugal, Germany, France, and you just can't ever rule out Greece or Spain. Not Greece, Italy or Spain. You can't rule them out because they know how to win. Yeah. But the fourth, I just think it's too far for Netherlands, and I think Belgium probably are the 7th team where they got a chance.
Yeah, I think Belgium or Netherlands winning it would count as a bit of a shock and a bit of an outsider. That's what I'd agree with you on that one. The other ones, you could make an argument for any of them getting to the final. And Hungary, what would you say if they got to like the quarterfinals? That would be a good run for them as a dark horse.
I think getting out of the group phase would be great for them, but as a dark horse, yeah, quarterfinals, that would be a great tournament for them regardless.
Yeah. So I'm going to look at some players as well, right? So I'm going to make a little tip for goal scorer. I know he's not like an outsider, but compared to how favourite, it's basically just Kane and Mbappe shootout according to everyone, isn't it? But I actually think Lukaku could do a bit of damage because they've got a nice easy group, and I think he's been really overlooked and disrespected a little bit just because of what we remember him being when he had that sort of year or two of floppiness. But I believe I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was top scorer in qualifying, wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe he was.
Take his club games out of it, but for Belgium, he's been firing in goals, and I think he scored 2 in a friendly the other day as well. So I just think he could actually be one of those players that just comes out and has a bit of a tournament.
Yeah, I think that is a fair comment. I don't think that's out of the ordinary. He plays for a good side, a team that could get to at least semis or quarterfinals. He's going to be their main guy. The only thing with Lukaku is that he now has competition for this team. He has players that can generally play in front of him. In that, what's his name? Penda for Leipzig. He's got a lot of goals this year, so he's going to want to start playing. So at the same time, there is going to be pressure on Lukaku, but he will start and he'll expect to score goals. So yeah, I think he's full favourite, but he's still a double-figure price, which I agree is a bit disrespectful. Do I think he will? No, but if he ended up being top goal scorer, I'm not going to be shocked, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Good each way shout, I'd say probably.
Yeah.
Good one. Yeah, that's it for that really. Anyone else you can see sort of like shine in this tournament and being the player that everyone wants to buy by the end of it?
Oh, well, you've got me on the spot, Phil. I didn't know you were going to ask this one. There's a few players. I just brought him up. It depends if he starts. So I think Kai Havertz might get a few goals for Germany. I think it all depends if he starts him or the other guy, and it depends where they play Havertz. Sticking with Germany, I think there's an opportunity for Musiala to really stamp his quality in world football. I know that him and Wirtz are very similar players, and they're both going to play. So people think that might be a disadvantage for it. I think Musiala is a better player, and I think that he will show it. And I think he will. I know I've backed him in the assist things, and that's why I've backed him in my assist thing, because I think he's going to do well, and I think he's going to be part of Germany's success. And when it comes to Portugal, if this guy starts, because I don't know if he starts every game, but Leao for Portugal, if he can play him on the left wing, he can score, he can assist. He's a player that people have not really talked about when it comes to scoring goals. So for sure, if he gets to start, I think he's someone that you've got to look out for. And we've got to talk about England for me. I think England's most important player is going to be, everyone thinks Bellingham, and they have every right to think Bellingham. And I think Bellingham will be a good tournament. He'll get a goal or so. But don't be shocked if Phil Foden outshines all of our guys and gets to cut their goals and to cut their assists. So it's all easy saying Kane and Mbappe, Ronaldo, but these are all players that were on the fringe of greatness, and they're all players that have had good few seasons. You know, we all know how good Phil Foden's been the last year, and we know how ability he's got. And you know, there's this argument who's better, him or Bellingham. I think Foden's better right now, but Bellingham plays for Real Madrid, so you know I can't win there. But
With Bellingham, he's just a bit worried because I watched quite a few Real Madrid games in the run-in, and he was looking a little bit leggy in the England games as well. And with Foden, he feels like he hit January and then he just clicked into another gear.
Yeah. I think you know we could sit here and name loads of players for England because that's the players we know. They're the players we watch more than anyone. And for me, I just got this feeling that Foden's still got more to give this season, if that makes sense. This is part of the end of the season. You see what I mean? Well, I'm not saying Bellingham's checked out, but Bellingham's quality started to subside. He was getting complete. He passed the ball to an open Vinicius Junior for an assist, and he got all the praise. But he was quiet and he was pocketed throughout the game. So I don't know.
He got stopped a lot in the other knockout games as well.
Exactly. I'm not saying he isn't good. We're not saying Bellingham's not good. He is a very good player. But I watched a segment on TBS and they were going, who's better, Bellingham and Foden? Oh, easy, Bellingham. I'm like, the disrespect to Foden is a little bit crazy for me.
Yeah, I think that Saka and Kane are going to take a lot of opposition attention when they're going man for man and like trying to
Yeah. Saka starts, by the way. Anyone thinks Cole Palmer starts, get the fucking head checked. We're not going to drop Saka.
Stop getting excited about Arsenal players. We know he's going to play, but I think he's going to get marked. And people will say, oh, he's had a quiet game. But I've noticed with Saka, even with Arsenal, when he wasn't doing anything, he was still playing well. And people that don't really watch the games will say, oh, he's shit. He didn't get a goal. He didn't get an assist. Didn't have a shot.
Yeah.
But he dragged 3 or 4 men out wide, nicked a ball into someone, then several passes later, Kai Havertz gets a tap in. Kai Havertz doesn't score unless someone else makes space for him. So that could happen with Phil Foden. That could happen with Jude Bellingham.
Agree.
Because of 2 players pulling everyone else out of position, and then someone has to be on the end of it, which I think both players are selfless enough to do that for their teams, where some players perhaps wouldn't. These players don't mind being man-marked for 90 minutes as long as their team wins.
Yeah, agreed.
Shall we wrap this one up then? It's been nearly an hour talking absolute bollocks as usual.
Yeah, cool. Yep. All good.
So, right, thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe if you did enjoy this one. Been a while since we did a live, so if we get some good response from this one, we'll maybe do another one before the Premier League season starts or to review this tournament. So, anything you wanted to add on there, Graham?
No. Thanks for joining in, guys, and enjoy the Euros. Come on, England.
Okay, so all the best, guys. Enjoy tonight's game. Even if you're Scottish, enjoy it while it lasts. And
keep the engine running.
Yeah, we'll see you on the other side. Thanks, guys.
See you later.